Woo! Here it is. Stillmatic versus The Blueprint. Jay-Z's The Blueprint. And this is vol7, I believe, of the album versus album collection. Whew, this is a heavyweight one. This was the one to start off the new millennium. That set it off. These two albums here were the two hottest albums to drop because no one anticipated these albums to be great. That was another thing. When Stillmatic was coming, people were like, oh, you need to get back to being Nasty Nas and all this. You know, people were just making it, like Nas needed a comeback record. Then you have the situation here where you're looking at Jay-Z. He's on top of the world right now. He just dropped a couple of records. The Dynasty was kind of a it didn't really do what they thought. So it started off hot, then it just died off. And the Dynasty just, it was what it was. So Jay needed to change direction, and he knew it. And was like, man, we need to stay hot and stay relevant. But in order to do that, this is the direction we're going in. So when the Blueprint was going through this process, you got Just Blaze and Kanye West coming in with these new beats. It changed direction. Because Jay was going to make another collaboratory type of record, like a compilation type record. And say, you know what? I'm really in a zone, working with these couple of songs. So the Blueprint was going to stand out because that's what gave him his idea. Talking with Kanye and listening to those beats, he was like, man, you a soulful dude. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to go with some soulful tracks. Because Jay liked to rap to hi-hats. That's his favorite thing to do. He needs a bounce track and he needs hi-hats. And he'll rap the hi-hats all day. But Kanye was like, look, that's cool and everything, but we could throw some hi-hats on these soul sounds and sound if you like, and you could just write to that and write to the sample. So then Kanye laid a theme out for him, then Just Blaze came and did what he did, and Blaze was making sounds just similar to Kanye's work. But what happened is you got a masterpiece. Jay was in a comfort zone and he's just feeling untouchable, and he just did Michael Jackson on stage. And the album comes out and it's a monster. I mean, absolute monster. There's nothing else to even talk about the albums because what could you say? I mean, from its inception, it's got to be one of the most perfectly laid out, easy listening type of, like, you could put that on and just let it play. It's an easy listening album. It's like a simple rhyme says so much. Just like he said. Did I tell you sell drugs? No, Hov did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. It's not that lyrically inclined. But as you can see, it doesn't really take that much. The groove it's the flow, the delivery, the groove. It's not bad, but it's not outstanding either. But you don't have to be. You just have to keep it smooth and simple. But you had classic songs like that was left off of Cormega's song that was a Mobb Deep track and produced by them. One of Mega's songs is on there, the Breathe Easy beat. Doom, 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 doom. Def Jam owned that album and they never released it. But that song was on there with Cormega and Mobb Deep. And Foxy Brown was on that song, I think, on a remix. But that beat was always hard, and when he used to perform it on stage, it was, the crowd be rocking to that beat. Doom, 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 doom. Well, I forgot how it go, but Mega was like, dude shot me and thought I was dead. The stupid mother should have shot me in the head. That song, that's where that beat came from. So Jay heard that track on stage, is like, I gotta have that. So all of a sudden, you know, Jay and Cormega end up becoming friends due to the Nas situation that got out of hand. But going through the tracks, it was only like a couple of filler songs, but people liked them anyway, like that. Jigga, jigga, that nigga, slam with the tilted rail with 20 inch ram. He did it again. Haters no like. Gnarly dude, above bar Marley dude. Stuck to a point I can hardly move. You blowing my high, don't bother me, dude. So it's just that the delivery and everything else, even on the filler tracks, was decent, you know. But the ones he hit home, he knocked them out the park. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Out the park. All I Need. Out the park. You know. People like that, my mama loves me. Pop raised me. Kiki braids my hair. I wasn't a big My Mama Loves Me fan. But my boy loved the beat, so you know, it is what it is. It's still a classic album, you know, period. Blueprint's a classic album. Can't take nothing away from him. Floyd Mayweather even still loved it. What you eat don't make me. You know, he loved that line. When Floyd Mayweather likes a line, he repeats it 80 million times out of a day. Let's move forward. Now we look at Stillmatic. Stillmatic. This album was inspired by the Blueprint album. Because I'm trying to tell you, this album, when Jay-Z did The Ruler's Back, and that kind of insulted Nas, because Nas felt like, look, I'm the Slick Rick of rap. And that's basically what Stillmatic was the Slick Rick version, and that Slick Rick style is what he used to go at go at Jay-Z. And the Stillmatic album, which nobody knew what it was going to be like, what it was supposed to sound like, until the Blueprint came out. Then you knew this album here is Nas's do or die album for his career and public appearance. And from the intro on the album, y'all thought I'd make another Illmatic, but it's always forward I'm moving. He said, here we move. Well, it's always forward I'm moving. Okay, stupid, here's another classic. And the tone was set from there. What did he say? Y'all got there, but y'all didn't get it all. I want my throne back. Hate to see you playing this the rap repo man. And he was back. And every beat that he was in there, he wanted to make sure this album didn't leak out so much. You know, like he knew it was going to leak, but he wanted to make sure he didn't use the same people as before or people that was, he wanted to use new faces, new people to make people like Ron Browns made Ether, and people was like, wow. He wanted to keep it in-house until he was ready to unveil it to the public. Now, when Ether came out, come on. That's a no-brainer for me to even discuss here. But Ether set the tone for the album when it was released. It leaked that was going to just sell the album through the roof. But it was the other songs on Stillmatic that made it a all-time classic album, that made it so different from Blueprint. Blueprint is a great listening song, but it had no substance. It's like one subject matter all the way through on Blueprint. There's nothing different, really, on Blueprint. They're all good songs, and you can listen to them, and they catchy tunes. You can sit around and chill to. But there's no range. Stillmatic is ranged out like a Range Rover. I mean, when Nas kicks it in gear, Second Childhood, who in the world? I've never heard a song like that. Then a man who raps backwards on a song, Rewind. He tell you a whole story going from the end all the way back to the beginning. Another creative idea, another creative song coming from Nas. I mean, destroy and rebuild. He tears down all the people that's been hating on him from his own area, friends that he knew. Tore them all down and said, okay, now let's try to rebuild this back up. How could you hate the song? You're the Man. It talks about a coming of age. And basically becoming the man. And the beat is actually from, and what people think the song is actually saying is you're the man, but it's not. It's saying, it's edited very well. It's from the song called Sugar Man. And Sugar Man, the guy who made that song, people thought he was dead for like 30 years. They didn't know where he was. And it's a movie, a documentary movie out called Searching for Sugar Man. That man album sold like the largest selling album in South African history. An album that wasn't really pressed at all. Somebody pressed it up and was getting paid off of it and put it in South Africa, and it was everywhere. Sugar Man, Sugar Man. I think his name is Rodriguez, is the artist. Sugar Man. The song is awesome, but they edit it right, and it sounds like he's saying, "You're the man, you're the man, you're the man." And it's talking about like the metamorphosis, what he saw in a vision. It was when he's sitting in a chair, and the chair became a king throne. His destiny found him. It was clear why his struggle was so painful. Metamorphosis, this is what I changed to. And Lord, I'm so thankful. Because now he knew, I'm truly finna run this. I'm finna take this guy down. And what's that? Every ghetto. My skin is an art gallery, right? With paintings of crucifixes, hoping protect me from all the dangers in the music business. Was once a young gangster running with youth defenders. Man, listen to that verse. Shoot. Oh my goodness. I almost fell out of my chair when that song came on. Telling you, Blitz made that boy go into a thing, and when he Venom Venom and Rule, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Poison. Come on, these are creative songs, ideas, conditions that are affecting the world that people live in. They can relate to all of these songs. It is not even comparable. Stillmatic is lifetimes ahead, light years ahead of Blueprint. They're not even comparable albums. But the energy of Blueprint and all the pressure that happened from Blueprint forced Nas to make Stillmatic a monster of an album. And it was funny because the original Fallout plan for Blueprint was to make it more, let's make Blueprint more like, we gotta make Blueprint more like Mary J was gonna be on there. They were gonna jazz the album up a little bit to make it more R&B-ish, Jay-Z R&B-ish type of record. And then they end up pushing that idea to the next project, which became The Best of Both Worlds with R. Kelly and Jay-Z. That's what the Blueprint originally was supposed to be. So here's a note for you, because you guys didn't know that. And it changed direction once Kanye had these beats and they started listening to Kanye tracks and decided to go in the direction of making more of a soul album. Like getting back to Reasonable Doubt. And he was like, yeah, we need to get back to basics. And then we can come with that R&B, that rap and R&B joint. And that's when that happened. And a lot of people don't know, Jay-Z called Mary J. Blige when she was on the song Braveheart Party. And she was on Braveheart Party, and a lot of people were very upset with Braveheart Party. And a lot of people were like, I don't like Braveheart Party. But Mary J. Blige was on the song, and she complained because she was like, start throwing a fit. Like, I didn't get my approval for the album to be released, and I want to be taken off the record. So that's why in the later copies, you don't have Braveheart Party on the album anymore. Unless you bought it initially. But she was removed because Jay-Z wanted her to be off the album due to the beef he had going on with Nas. And was like, you gonna do that record? How you gonna do that record when homeboys dissing me like that? Mary's, I didn't know, Jay. I rocks with you, Jay. I rocks with you. I rocks with you. You know that. I'm just saying. I mean, he's spitting all that venom against me like that, and you just gonna jump on the record. It just sounds crazy. And I that's why he did it too. He's just trying to play you against me, and I'm like, Mary. So that's why I gave you a courtesy call, just because I never told him to put the record out. I'm gonna tell them right now to take me off the record, or I'm taking him to court. So that's what happened. So Nas, he just like laughed it off, went to the radio station. Yes, yes. Well, it don't surprise me. A lot of people didn't like the song no way, so it's probably a better album now that it was taken off. So that was his way of throwing a shot back. But my vote is Stillmatic. Leave your comments in the section and let me know exactly which one you pick. And tell me why, if it's the same reasons, I like to know at least I'm thinking straight. And follow the playlist, and many more will follow. I'm out.